However, it is me, GamePanger21, and today we have the Game Awards to talk about. And oh boy, the Game Awards did happen, and they were a thing. There's a lot to talk about, mainly in the sense that, the Game Awards really kind of only made some people upset this year. Not many, but mostly about the games and not the actual award ceremony itself, because everyone knows the award ceremony is kind of the part to drive things to do stuff, but, whatever. I'm not really that interested into the Game Awards. I actually didn't really watch it again this year because I don't really watch it every year. I mainly just go on Twitter and just farm the salt because fresh salt is always fun. Overall, if you wanted to see a good summary of this is not the place for you. This is the place for salty fanboy comments because obviously it's really funny. But we don't have many of that today. We mainly have just people discussing and talking about other things as well. Just quite interesting things overall. With that being said, if you like what it is that I do and want to support me in any other way, shape, or form, links down to everything in the description below. With all that being said, let's get right into it. Starting, of course, off with a little bit of a pre-game thing. I wanted to take these two tweets out and just, talk about them since we're already talking about the Game Awards. The first one being from Derek here in I'm very bad at names, especially with the headache. They have talking about Titanfall 3 being revealed in this one, but that's more of just a meme on this article, which is the Game Awards will reportedly feature 2 announcements that will make fans say, holy shit, I can't believe that thing is here. Unsure if that is what happened that night. One of, if not the biggest things that was like, holy shit, I can't believe the thing is here, was actually Elden Ring Nightingale, at least for me personally. That one looks to be like one of the ones that were really good, but I see very few people talking about it. So unsure if that one's going to be the one to be this year. But overall, Nightingale kind of looks awesome, and it is releasing within 2025. Cross fingers, because it just looks pretty good. I was hoping for other things, but none of that stuff. But people took this and kind of ran with it, with one person in particular talking about Half-Life 3, bringing out those good old rumors again, because Valve was apparently at the Game Awards, or was supposed to be at the Game Awards, but were not. So, yeah. Just wanted to throw those 2 things up there as a little bit of a pregame to kind of get you a little bit looped up and ready. So talking, of course, about the Game Awards themselves, Astrobot took home the gold for Game of the Year. So congrats to them. Congrats to everyone who worked on that game. Pretty well deserved, at least in my opinion. It was one of the few games up there that definitely fell under the thing of Game of the Year, but I wouldn't say it would be my personal top pick, at least not for me. That would definitely have to go to Black Myth Wukong, but again, Black Myth Wukong didn't win, but that's just, again, my personal opinion. I just prefer that over platformers overall. Not that, again, platformers are bad, but I think that this one kind of sums up more about an interesting topic here, where stealth comes in with a very classy for Nintendo, or for Astrobot, my mistake, to honor Nintendo in their speech. They recognize, as they should, that if it weren't for this one studio, they would have kept platformers, both 2D and 3D, alive. It is Nintendo. I don't think that it's Nintendo solely. I think that Nintendo keeping the platformer alive isn't them doing the biggest thing. They're keeping it alive within the AAA space. There's a lot of platformers, or more than you'd think of platformers for other games, or for at least in the indie space, because platformers are all over the place. Celeste, anyone. But I think also Cuphead. But those weren't made by Nintendo. But again, Nintendo has kept that alive and well, and, for good-ish reasons, but also like very whatever reasons. Apparently they did that, and I just wanted to mention that that's actually a good thing, that they were acknowledging that. But of course, we're not here to talk about some positive stuff. We're here to talk about some salty comments. And I don't have many for you in terms of PlayStation guys this time around, because, again, they won. So they're mostly going to keep quiet until, the inevitable thing when they make videos and stuff and tweets about it and just become insufferable for it for the next couple of years. So yeah, but J-Dub here starting it off with this was a PlayStation Nation all night at the Game Awards, winning everything. How y'all feel out there today? Good. This was made the next day, but, I wanted to talk about it here because, that's funny. Talking about how also Xbox hasn't had a GOTY nominated since Halo 3, spent $100 billion on acquisitions just to continue in last place and empty-handed. Here's to next year when GTA 6, which is not made by PlayStation, Wolverine, which we haven't seen anything of, including gameplay, Death Stranding 2, which I'm not sure even exists anymore, Ghosts of Yotai, which, okay, releases alongside Avowed, which, in and of itself also has had some pretty rough times. Maybe they can win again this year, which there's the thoughts. I don't know. Avowed has had some really rough times and rough seas ahead, so I don't know. I don't really care. But we'll come back to good old Xbox later in this video. But the red dragon here comes up, the year of the Xbox, because PlayStation is an Xbox, except you need a PlayStation to play all of these winning games. Talking about, again, this whole thing. And, we'll come back to more specifics on this with Zubby later, but right now, we have to, of course, look at the updated meme that a lot of people, or at least this guy, was using, where he updated it with, a bunch of the games and things. Now, I will also note that this isn't the winners of the Game of the Year, this is just the nominees. There were a number of nominees here, and not all of them won, obviously, because, they didn't all win. But it is interesting to note that when he says Sony dominates every year, where were they in 2014, where they didn't have a single Game Awards nomination for the Game of the Year? I guess we just don't talk about that. Or the fact that, again, not every one of these actually ended up winning, and these were just the nominations. And again, all of those, or most of those now, are actually on other platforms, mainly PC. So, cool. But, yeah. But they were exclusive when they were put up on the Game Awards list, so whatever. Who the fuck cares? This is just a funny meme that someone continuously updates, and I look to see this again next year, because this is annoying and also really funny to look at. But of course, not everyone was happy with astrobotting, and it wasn't actually the PlayStation fanboys that were unhappy, because obviously anything with the Sony logo is a winner. Starting of course off here with PopCorp saying Astrobot winning Game of the Year is a massive joke, WTF. With Game Cage kind of going on the opposite end here, saying, let this be the ultimate lesson. A beautiful, pure, fun gameplay experience will trump all Astrobot Game of the Year sweep. Which, love the all caps there. Salty in kind of a different way. But rock solid here was Sony shut down all their studios to rig the vote with their one singular game. Ha 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 ha. Which, interesting how he's using Death Stranding footage here, or what it looks like Death Stranding footage, or a GIF. But, it's just salty comment after salty comment, because we're just kind of blow through these with Dumbburger here saying, Sony made their first game in over 10 years, wins multiple awards. I wanted to point this one out, though, because while this one is positive, they didn't actually make their first game, because Sony, of course, obviously, is the publishers. They don't technically make the game. But more specifically, this is actually a sequel or a subsequent next thing from the original game, which was actually Astrobot Playroom, which was a tech demo-ish for the original PlayStation 4. So, yeah. They didn't make it to be a new-ish game. It's a sequel to a tech demo, which did really well, which I always find really funny, because I think that, I'm not sure if Playroom was even nominated when it came out, but I find it really funny because they always tend to win Game of the Year on the second try, not the first, which is a very interesting thing to Sony, but they didn't win it for God of War Ragnarok, so I guess it kind of broke that streak. Oh well. Mushi Moan with a multiple awards for the night. Game of the Year winner. Sony wasted all that time and money on a dead end stuff, and the Game of the Year that sweeps is the one that basically didn't give a shit about poetry. I mean, nothing really salty here. It just is a very funny comment that I just thought would be fun to point and laugh at, or at least use it to point and laugh at Sony, because it's funny how they did that. And again, when Jada brought it up earlier, oh yeah, they spent billions upon billions of dollars to make these games, and they didn't even get nominated. Yeah, well, I mean, Sony spent billions and billions of dollars and won with a game that they didn't really care about, and that was, again, a sequel to a tech demo on the PlayStation 4. So, yeah. And, of course, we have Zubby Tech here with nothing salty, just a rundown of the actual games here. I'm kind of blasting through these because I want to get to some of the other stuff. But, yeah, just a little bit of this. With the capstone off of this being someone's pretty legit comment of Zanny here with a, guys, I think it's time to stop taking the Game Awards seriously. You take this Game Awards show seriously? All I have to say there. But of course, to go on to the next littler section, which doesn't deserve its own video because I don't have many screenshots of it, we have, of course, Phil Spencer sitting front row seat while they watch the PlayStation getting an award. This picture will be probably memed for 5 ever and will continuously be memed because that face, despite being pixelated to shit, is hilarious. So we started off here with Brad, with Phil, we don't need games, Spencer looking like Homelander not clapping as Astrobot wins after 3 hours of developers shaming, layoffs, hearing Sony thank Nintendo on stage, and Xbox not having one in 10 years is the definition of a sore loser. I mean, you could literally say you even bragging about this, and the PlayStation fanboys bragging about this is you being a sore winner, but yeah, I don't think that he's upset and a sore loser and anything like that, because I don't think he cares too much. Just the fact that he's there is enough to show support for all the people that he was there with. So, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck else cares? I don't care. I don't know if he really should care. He just looks bored to me. So, I mean, anyway. Moving on to the next one. We've got Hyped here after spending $80 billion. All Phil and co get to see is Sony winning Gotti from the front seat with, again, that same image. This image is going to get memed to shit. You all know that. Tux Lee with $100 billion spent, thousands of layoffs, and other thing. The only thing that we get is a face from Xbox at the Game Awards, which, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what was actually there in terms of Xbox stuff, but at the end of the day, I've stopped caring about these awards, and I just wanted to show this off because it's a funny image, and I really, really think that this one, like, should be a meme format. Like, I don't know, you can interpret this in many different ways and stuff like that. So, who the hell cares? Who the hell else cares? I don't give a shit. Congrats on Astrobot for winning Game of the Year, and congratulations on the PlayStation fanboys for continuing to be sore winners and sore losers, and, you know, not just saying, hey, better luck next time, or, you know, actually giving some constructive stuff instead of being destructive. But overall, I've stopped caring, and my headache is setting in, so I probably need to take some ibuprofen, take a nap, or just get some water to subsidize the fact that I am hungover from Friday. But with all that being said, if you like what it is I do, want to support me in any other way, shape, or form, other than a like and subscribe, which is always enough, links down to everything in the description below. I love you all. I think the Game Awards this year were, again, mid as always, but, you know, that's pretty average for the last couple of years of these Games Awards shows, and I'm just surprised the Game Awards is still going on and still going strong with all these time here. But overall, thank you so much for watching again. My name is Campaign21, and peace off.